Hi, welcome back to GP Reactions. I hope you are all well. Going to be reacting to Gerry Rafferty, and this is a track called Bakerstreet, and it was off a 1978 album City to City. Bakerstreet actually entered the UK Top 40 mid-February, and it peaked at number 3. So without further ado, let's get straight into this.
Winding your way down on Baker Street, lighting your head and dead on your feet. Well, another crazy day. You'll drink the night away and forget about everything. This city desert makes you feel so cold. It's got so many people, but it's got no soul, and it's taken you so long to find out you were wrong when you thought it held everything. You used to think that it was so easy. You used to say that it was so easy, but you're trying now. Another year and then you'll be happy. Just one more year and then you'll be happy, but you're crying now.
So yeah, I'm actually loving the saxophone on this. I have heard this track before. I've never really kind of listened to the lyrics first, so it's the first for me to actually sit down and sort of try and take in the lyrics. It feels like there's quite a bit of regret in the lyrics, a little bit of the assumption that life's always going to be pretty easy, and it's kind of crazy thing actually watching this. Used to be a chap it's geezer who used to live like down the road from me, and he actually even looked a bit like Gerry Rafferty. He was a bit of a biker, and the thing is when you kind of get brought up, you got your mum and dad to kind of they'll tell you about. Though it's kind of more of like they're sort of like there to sort of discipline you and guide you along a path, and you don't kind of really learn much about the world through your mum and dad. I gotta be honest, I didn't. And then like geezer like this will come along, and all of a sudden he'll say, here's a beer. Let me just tell you about what life's really like, and it feels very much like it feels very much like Gerry Rafferty is that guy he said, you know what, I'm gonna tell you what how life is like, and you have to kind of maybe enjoy the moments where you're doing well, and don't kind of assume that all your plans are going to come to fruition. I'm kind of taking that from this song, and it does really remind me of one particular guy in my life who, like I say, he was a neighbour, and we had that kind of chat with him, and it was the first time I kind of thought, wow, life isn't is it? I mean, don't get me wrong, life's not bad, but there's life isn't just like all sweetness and light. Sometimes there's like a dark bit that you have to kind of go through as well. So anyway, let's carry on.
give up the booze and the one night stands, and then he'll settle down in some quiet little town and forget about everything. But you know he'll always keep moving. You know he's never gonna stop moving, 'cause he's rolling, he's the rolling stone. When you wake up, it's a new morning. The sun is shining, it's a new morning. You're going home.
It's amazing guitar. Okay, so that was Gerry Rafferty with Bakerstreet. As I'm listening to the lyrics of this song, I kind of get the feeling. I mean, for start off, just watching Gerry Rafferty, there is like a sadness. Um, it's kind of like I don't know. Maybe it's just just the way he comes across, but you kind of like feel that he's not essentially kind of satisfied with life, and that's it. Kind of comes out in this music. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a depressing track to listen to, but it is kind of it does feel about like regret and assumption, that life is actually better than it is. Um, and also, I'm actually thinking back to he was in a group called Steelers Wheel. Now, the one story I do know is that they kind of went through a bit of a messy split, I think, in about mid 70s. So that would have been a few years before Baker Street. I'm not sure about anything else. I do remember Stuck in the Middle with You, and how on Top of the Pops, after a particular Top of the Pops performance, Jerry Rafferty, has announced he was leaving the band. I believe that's the story, but so maybe this has Baker Street has connotations to that former existence within Steelers Wheel. Um, but yeah, it kind of feels like it's also he's reaching out to a friend in this, and the friend is also kind of conveying like regret about his own choices in life. And it's almost at the end, when he's talking about going home, it's almost like a triumphant, yeah, expression that actually, he wasn't that bad. I'm heading back home. Um, I'm sure that's not where this song. I'm sure there's another meaning to this whole song. I'd love to hear the exact story behind this. Like I said, I don't generally research the background of a song before I kind of react to it. And one of the things I really wanted to do, particularly with Baker Street, was to listen to the lyrics and try and give my own sort of interpretation of where I felt they were taking me. I don't know. I'm actually really, really enjoy that song. I have heard it. I don't think there's anybody on the planet that hasn't heard Gerry Rafferty's Baker Street. We don't always take in um, we don't always take in analysis, especially when you're 11 years old, which I would have been in 1978. I would have probably just remembered the saxophone in it, and the general overall kind of feeling of a song. So yeah, I actually really enjoy that. So like let me know what you think about this track, and please let me know if there is a story behind the lyrics. I'd be really really kind of keen to know. Okay, so thanks for viewing again, and till next time, take care of yourself, and hopefully tune in for the next reaction.